I'm the acting CEO of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. Under normal circumstances, I'm the Deputy Chief Election Officer responsible for knowledge management and communication and administration. I'm giving you this press statement in relation to issues that have arisen from the social media. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission wishes to set the record straight on a number of allegations and issues that have been extensively published in both the social and some print media in the past few days. The allegations, if not clarified or cleared, have the effect of causing unnecessary alarm and discontents to the public and soiling our electoral process for selfish political gains. The first allegation, the alleged 2022 voters roll. Now that various issues have been raised in the social media concerning an alleged 2022 voters roll that is being analyzed by a certain consultant of a stakeholder, the Commission ought to give a response to let the public know that, according to ZEC's records, the voters' rolls have only been provided to political parties and not to any consultant. While the voters' roll is a public document, there is an administrative procedure to follow for control purposes once a request is made in terms of Section 21(3) of the Electoral Act. It is also important to note that the voters' roll is a fluid document which undergoes constant changes, save in cases where it is closed for election purposes. Each day there are new registrants, transfers, dates, and corrections that are added on or effected in the voters' roll, and that is the reason why the law provides for a reasonable period within which the Commission should provide same to persons who have requested it. That period is meant to allow the voters' roll to be updated so that all information therein is accurate and reflects the correct state of affairs as of the date of issue. Those who require copies of the voters' roll are requested to direct their written requests to the Chief Elections Officer, and their requests are formally acknowledged and are advised to approach the relevant department, which in turn will inform them of the date of collection. The other allegation has to do with the use of CIO for accreditation of voter registration. The Commission has also taken note of the allegation of social media that is using CIO personnel for purposes of accrediting observers for the forthcoming by-elections and the voter registration exercise currently underway. It is further alleged that this conduct is unconstitutional and unlawful, presumably in terms of Section 239 of the Constitution. The Commission wishes to advise all its stakeholders to seek clarification first on issues that they are not clear about, to avoid publishing falsehoods which may mislead the electorate. The correct position of the law is that Section 239J of the Constitution of Zimbabwe gives the Commission broad powers to instruct any person in the employment of the state or of a local authority for purpose of ensuring the efficient, free, fair, proper and transparent conduct of any election or referendum. So in essence, it would only be unlawful if an employee of the state would engage in commission duties without being instructed by it. What is important is for the Commission to remain in charge through giving instructions to any employee of the state and not for it to be instructed. The Constitution does not discriminate against any particular ministry or department. All people who are recruited by the Commission work under its instructions, and the Commission guards its independence jealously. There is therefore nothing amiss, as the Constitution allows the Commission to give instructions to any person in the employment of the state. The other allegation has to do with polling stations. The Commission also wishes to clear the air on allegations made regarding the creation of additional polling stations. For the record, Section 22A of the Electoral Act gives power to the Commission to establish additional polling stations to serve a polling station area in cases where the threshold of voters exceeds the number set by the Commission is manageable for administration purposes. For instance, the current maximum threshold for voter per polling station is 1,000. There are situations or areas where voters at a particular polling station exceed this set threshold, and the law empowers the Commission to create other polling points within the same polling station for ease of administering the vote. For instance, if voters who vote at Chiradza Primary School, which is designated as the polling station for Chiradza polling area, for polling area has 2,100 voters. The Commission can prepare 3 voters' roll of 700 voters each and establish 3 polling stations at Chiradza School for ease of administering the poll. The Commission consults and educates the affected for them not to be inconvenienced on the day of poll. Further, Section 51 of the same Act, the Electoral Act, grants the Commission the prerogative to determine the number of polling stations it considers necessary for polling purposes, though it can receive representations from stakeholders. Again, we want to advise the electorate that there's some information that is going on the social media about the use of a USSD code. Again, that is another falsehood. The electorate is being advised to please disregard the 111 hash message circulating on social media, purporting to be the voters' roll inspection USSD code. The message has nothing to do with the inspection of the voters' roll. For registration status, people use the BVR. People can use our BVR inspection link or a portal on the ZEC website, which is bvrinspection.zec.org.zw. I repeat, bvrinspection.zec.org.zw. Then we go again on the issue of the voters' roll. Each year leading to an election, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission encounters various allegations that have to do with the voters' roll. Again, it has been observed that once that has started, false and misleading allegations will be carried into the election year as a fallback position. These allegations are always made through the media, and no proper clarification is sought from the Commission. In essence, there is always an attempt to drag the Commission to engage in a public wrangle with the electorate over issues concerning its mandate. the Commission has established and publicized stakeholder platforms where it freely addresses stakeholders' concerns in an amicable fashion and without exposing the public to grandstanding. Therefore, genuine stakeholders do not make noise in the media, but do know where to take their issues. I go on again on alleged voter rigging. Time and again, the Commission has been accused by certain quarters of rigging elections in this country in favor of a political party or candidates. Over time, most people have come to accept this assertion as fact without interrogating the extent of these claims. For the record, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is a creature of statute whose members are appointed in terms of procedures outlined in the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Further, its mandate is provided in the same Constitution and the electoral law of the country. ZEC is very much aware of the requirements of operating within the confines of the law and to the consequence of failure to adhere to same. The Commission is a member of the regional international bodies that perform the same functions as it, and which organizations require adherence to set standards. ZEC over the years religiously followed these standards, including the SADC guidelines and principles governing the conduct of elections, to the extent of entrenching them in the law. Thus, can actually boast that it is one of those institutions that has made significant progress in applying same. The high level of suspicion and the toxic nature of the political environment in this country require constant review of electoral processes to address perceived shortcomings. As a society, we are aware that Parliament has the responsibility to deal with any electoral reforms. The Commission's role is to make recommendations, but many a times ZEC is demanded to make electoral reforms. It is the role of each and every Zimbabwean to approach Parliament if there are any reforms that we feel we need. Be that as it may, the Commission knows that despite these efforts it has made or is making to improve the electoral process, some stakeholders have clearly taken a vow to ensure that the electorate is blinded to any progress that is being made to invest in an endeavor to soil all the work that is being done by the Commission. ZEC constantly meets all stakeholders and advise them of progress being made sometimes. They arise allegations in the media without first seeking clarification from the Commission. We appeal to all our stakeholders to approach ZEC, to speak to us and not talk about us. We need to work together as Zimbabweans to come to an understanding and to forge the way forward as one. It is not good to weigh down the Commission by constantly instituting litigation against it, which in many cases is found to be baseless allegations, simply as a means to bring its name into disrepute. However, the Commission is also alive to the fact that it is every citizen's right to take the Commission to court on any matter they feel aggrieved with. The Commission has an open door policy and urges its stakeholders to come to talk about electoral issues. Time and again, some stakeholders have abused the electorate by churning misinformation to them that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission ZEC rigs election in this country. Some citizens have gullibly accepted the allegation as fact, without challenging those who make them. The Commission has now come to the conclusion that there are some stakeholders who have resolved to adopt a strategy of soiling its credibility to account for their electoral loss and losses to the electorate. In the past, some have openly confessed to the Commission that they cannot always tell their constituents the truth for fear of losing their support. Thus, they have to find a scapegoat, and the scapegoat is the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. In a match of football, the referee is always the scapegoat. As a referee, we accept that fact. Further, the Commission has always told its stakeholders that their false allegations for vote rigging contribute to voter apathy and to loss of confidence in the electoral process that the processes by the electorate. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is glad to note that some have since seen the light and are now encouraging their supporters to participate in electoral processes run by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. Ironically, the same institution they allege to be responsible for stealing their votes. The Commission wishes to reiterate to all well-meaning Zimbabweans that the systems used in conducting elections are world-class, and there is no room for tampering with their votes. To those who know elections, the polling station-based voting system and use of biometric technology such as the automated fingerprint identification system, the AFIS, cannot be flattered, as they are specifically designed to guard against any form of vote risk. The systems the Commission use are the same as what is used in organizations such as banks and other EMBs in the region and the world over. I challenge all Zimbabwean citizens to, the next time they come across persons alleging that there is vote rigging in Zimbabwe, to invoke the legal maximum, he who alleges must prove. If surely there is vote rigging in Zimbabwe, someone must be able to prove it. At least that person should be able to trace the incident of vote rigging and link it to a particular location, polling station, or a collation center, and be able to tell the time the incident occurred. Further, that person must be able to prove how many votes have been stolen or miscounted, and who has been prejudiced, among other things. It is high time Zimbabweans should refuse to be abused and disabused, and to disabuse themselves of thinking that elections are rigged in this country. That is a myth and a fallacy, and the Commission challenges anyone to prove it otherwise. All the allegations that have been made against the Commission on vote rigging are mere bare allegations, not supported by fact, nor figures, nor location, nor names of persons prejudiced. Even where courts are roped in to establish any wrongfulness, on its part, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is absolved. False political narratives continue to be generated simply to satisfy the ego of its detractors. The allegations are mere political statements meant to hoodwink voters for the selfish gain of politicians who believe only a result in their favor should come out of the ballot. This is despite the fact that there are always accredited observers and party agents present in polling stations and collation centers to observe electoral process. So the next time when you have a person alleging vote rigging by the Commission, ask them where, which candidate, how many votes, and how did that happen. The Commission assures you that you will not get an answer to these questions. I thank you. I'm done. If there are any questions.
Thank you. My name is Blessed Mhlanga from Heart and Soul TV and Radio. Now, acting CEO, you have accused everyone, stakeholders and people who are peddling falsehoods of trying to tarnish the image of the commission. What responsibility do you take as ZEC for not making sure that people trust the Electoral Act? What is your responsibility? Because it is, in my view, your responsibility to make sure that electoral processes are trusted. Second thing is, there are specific issues that have been raised, Madam CEO. Specific addresses where, for instance, number 1, Harare Drive in Kweko, there is no house there. But on your voters' roll, there are people who are registered there, who stay there, and who are supposed to vote using that address. There are people, a couple in Glenville, staying at the same house, but allocated different polling stations. Now, you have not addressed specifically those specific issues on the voters' roll. So can you please explain why you would allocate different polling stations? People staying in the same house, but voting in different wards. Does the ward line cross through their bedroom or something? You want to have an understanding. And the last question, Madam, is, for instance, when there was a rally in April, there were no conditions by the police of not busing people from other constituencies. When there's a rally at Zimbabwe grounds by another political party, police issue those stringent conditions, and ZEC remains quiet. Are you not complicit? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. I'll start with the last question. And my colleagues will also chip in. You are alleging that ZEC should do something about political parties when they have had rallies. But like we have said, there are laws in this country which we should follow. When these political parties have rallies, they are supposed to go to the police to seek permission to have those rallies. So you also want ZEC to speak on behalf of the police. My colleagues will also assist in that regard. And then the second allegation that we have put to ZEC is that people in Glenview are in the same house voting in the different polling stations. Like I've read in this press statement, they are people from the same polling station who can vote in different classes because, like I have alluded, the polling station has got thresholds. So surely they will vote in different classrooms while they are coming from the same house, because we have divided that voters' roll into the different classrooms that we talked about, so that they are able to vote quickly, and then they can go back home to do their respective duties. My colleagues can chip in the other ones.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. But maybe let me also first address the issues for the rally and April. We as the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, we have dispute or conflict management mechanisms. One of it is multi-party liaison committees. So if a party is aggrieved by certain action, we expect that such are the issues that come up at our multi-party liaison committees, and they are resolved there amicably. But when a complaint is not made to the Commission, surely the Commission cannot be expected to know what is happening. And as the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, I don't think we've had a complaint regarding that issue, or a complaint has been lodged formally. We haven't seen any party that has lodged that formally. Secondly, I want to address the issue of certain issues that are being raised. As Blessing says, there are specific issues that are being raised in the voters' roll. At the moment, the Commission is still making investigations as to how certain voters' roll that is being alleged to have certain information that has been splashed all over the social media. But the Commission is still looking at the circumstances under which that voters' roll came to be in that, because some of the allegations that are being raised, surely I think the Commission wants to investigate those. And Blessing also talked about what the Commission is doing regarding maybe dispelling some misperceptions, as I can say. The Commission does have a stakeholder platform that it has established to deal with this, in fact, where it interacts with its stakeholders. So we expect that we share information there, and that is one of our ways that we deal with our stakeholders' concerns. And we also have voter education. Right now we have voter educators who are on the ground. We try as much as possible as ZEC to churn out the correct information. That is a way of maybe how we can deal with problems that are arising. But be that as it may, you know, social media is also one of the tools that has proved to be a very difficult one to deal. If a falsehood is peddled right now, it's not easy for the Commission to really respond there and there, or sometimes you learn of things, and by the time you try to respond, that issue has already been splashed across the country. And when you respond, you have a challenge that people have already taken a certain side. But we try very much. We are also now very much on the social media side. I think maybe my colleagues can also add on.
I can respond to the allegation on the voters roll about the Kwekwe issue, where it's alleged that there is a non-existent Harare Drive location. The section of the Electoral Act, section 28, allows for any voter actually to raise an objection in terms of such issues. The Act, section 28 says, a voter may object to the retention of any name on the voter's roll. So there is a procedure for doing that. So if that procedure has not been taken to the Commission for us to be aware, such errors may remain in the voter's roll because the proper procedures are not being followed to be able to assist the Commission to have those issues raised. I would say that is the answer to that one. Even the Glenview issue, if there is a real concern there, those issues can be objected to through the section that I've mentioned, section 28 of the Electoral Act. There are objection forms to that, and communication can be written to the voter by the Commission to say there's this objection about your status. What are the circumstances? Then the person is obliged to respond. Then corrective action can be taken. Thank you.
And to answer the first question now, what is ZEC's responsibility?